What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lead Through Sports Spotlight interview number 7. Today we have Coach Chris Moore getting on with me today. It's going to be a great conversation, so make sure y'all lock in. Invite some friends. Tell your friends be my friends. Let's be friends. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and add Coach real quick. Coach. Coach, what's going on with you, Doc?
What's going on, man? I apologize. I'm running. I just ran in the house. I just got on the phone with coaches. You already know how that goes.
Yeah, you good, man. I know how it go. How everything going with you today? How's the week been?
Oh, man, it's been a week, man. Just continuously grinding. Um, it's a steady grind on the daily.
Yeah.
And so I just really been getting after it, man. Talking to coaches, recruiting, being a dad, all the different things that come with that. This is spring break, but I don't really get no breaks during this time. So
Yeah, I feel it.
just continuously being busy, man, but enjoying every bit of the journey and just been blessed, man. Been blessed to, of course, be alive, as you know, during these
Absolutely.
times and have a job and the little things, man. Just continuing to enjoy those things that are coming with our life nowadays. So.
Facts, relatable. Definitely, I feel it. So let's get into it, man. Just give us a little background on yourself as far as age, where you from, and what you do. Just real light, because we're gonna get into everything.
I know, we can talk all day, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to not try to go too long. We'll be up here 3 hours like the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire were the other day. They was on till
Facts.
almost midnight. But man, Coach Chris Moore, um, definitely from born and raised from Newport News, Virginia. Um, 31 years old now. It's always funny when I say that part, man. My frat brother right there. Shout out to the Noops as always.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Shout out my pops and them.
yeah, definitely. Your pops is a Noop, man. Your
Yeah.
pops is a Noop. Um, from Newport News, Virginia. Went to Warwick High School. Had a bit of a journey on the college level. Went to three different schools. Went to Virginia Wesleyan, went to Thomas Nelson, went to Chowan, finished up at Chowan. Took some grad classes at Mount St. Mary's during my time there. And so just kind of been around the block. Um, Coach Ben Moore, my dad, both my teachers were parents. My sister has worked and went to Virginia University. Been around basketball all my life, though, of course. And a lot of people don't really know that I've actually, growing up, I played a lot of soccer.
Uh-huh.
And so that was one of my favorite sports. And probably if you talk to Steve Artist, the great Steve Artist, he used to always say, man, I missed my calling when I stopped playing soccer, man, because I was a beast on the soccer field.
That's real. That's crazy because my dad was the same way. My dad told me
Yeah.
every day he should have played soccer in college instead of football.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
always told me
man.
that. So
It,
that was kind of. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Nah, that was kind of my next question. Growing up, what was your favorite sport? So I'm assuming it was soccer other than
Yeah.
basketball.
So basketball, of course, is my favorite. The first day I actually went to play soccer, my dad made me go out there. He's like, "Nah, you can go out there." And I ended up falling in love with it, man. Like I really, only reason I didn't play in high school because it wasn't really the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I stopped literally right before I got to high school. And some of the guys on the soccer team were like, "Man, you can come out here and play." And I was like, "Nah." I actually ran track in high school. Was freshman of the year on the track team that year. I ran track my sophomore year, and didn't run after that. I stuck strictly to basketball my junior, senior year. I also did some karate, man. I did a lot of different things. I actually
You
played
did it
football
all.
too. A lot of people don't know Coach Chris Moore played some football. I was one and done. My football journey was a funny one for the guys that actually played with me. But
Yeah, I
I
played. I
played.
played. I played 2 weeks for Hampton High when I was in 10th grade.
I
I
think I
played
heard
2 weeks.
that.
I played 1 week on JV. I got moved right up. Played a week.
Uh,
The game on varsity was against Ward, and then the next week I was out because I was like, I'm wasting time. What am I doing?
Did Ward run you out of there, or what? Was that the year Ward beat Hampton?
That was actually that wasn't the reason why, but Ward did beat us that year, and Coach
That's
Smith went
big.
crazy. He went crazy on us.
Man, it was almost like we won the state championship the day after the Ward beat y'all that year, man.
Yeah, that joke was crazy. Yeah. So what made you take college? Or not college. What made you take basketball to the college level?
I mean, I don't think I really had it. Well, I did have a choice, but it was really more so. It was all I ever knew in life, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
When I came my senior year of high school, um, you know, I kind of sat down and toyed between if I was going to play college basketball, if I was going to actually just be a student. I didn't really know. I kind of sat back and thought about it. I had a couple options. Patrick Henry Community College was one when Coach Chuck Moore was there. Did a workout with him. That was an opportunity. They actually won a national championship, I think, right after that. It might have been that year that I was supposed to go over there. And also, Coach Joyner at St. Paul's had offered me a scholarship to come over there at St. Paul's that year. I went on a visit, and people nowadays always say, well, why you ain't take that, man? You could have played the CIAA, blah, blah, blah. But I just didn't feel at home. And so I went to Virginia Wesleyan, and I learned real quickly, man, what college basketball was really about. Worked out that whole summer, you know, lifted, did everything I was supposed to do. But time management and just maturity, man, is what separates guys at that level, man. It's just the maturity of that level is at a different level. And you got to be ready at all times, and you get left behind real quick.
Facts. That is a fact. That's a huge fact. So let's talk about high school for a minute, man.
Hmm.
When you were in high school, what was your mindset like? Like, were you thinking about your life after you graduated high school or life after you graduated college? Was that a thought when you were in high school?
I will say, man, I always look back at that time when I was in high school. I always tell people I was invincible. You know, you don't ever really think anything's gonna go wrong in life, you know, in high school. One of the things that I would say, I would always say, man, look, yeah, I'm about to go to college 4 years and I'm gonna be married by 25. You know, that same, you know, I'm gonna be a businessman and I'm a major in business and I'm gonna make all this money. And then you really get there and it's like, hey, life don't really go like that. And so I definitely had a plan in high school from the time, you know, you know, from this point to this point, I'm gonna be here. And you learn real quickly about adversity. And life is always about how you respond in those instances. So
That's real. And I feel like I tell everybody that I interview this, I feel like there's a fine line between like, trying to prepare yourself for life after school and staying focused in the present. You know what I'm saying? Because you
yeah,
don't want to
definitely.
think too far down the line, but at the end of the day,
Nah.
you don't want to be like butt out and not have no kind of plan. You
Right,
know what I'm saying?
right. And you do always want to have a plan because even when you do go away from it, you can always veer back to it. And so that's definitely one of the things that I guess for me, when I took that hiatus and I kind of went on this little road, I always knew I was going to come back to college, and I always knew I was wanting to graduate. You know, I always tell people if you don't have a goal, then you normally get lost. You know, because you have nothing to look forward to. And so the fact that I already knew, and what helped me, I can say, you know, I did have a role model in front of me. You know, I had that mom and dad that both went to college. I had that sister that went to college and went to grad school. So it was almost like I got to do this or else, you know, and it gave me something else to push forward to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can say, you know, that helped me out tremendously because it gave me a bar. And that's one of the things I always tell kids nowadays. You know, you might not have that to look forward to, but you could be the one to set that bar for the next generation.
That's facts. And I think, like you said, one of the keys for you was you had backbone. You had a backbone. You
Mhm.
had people you can lean
Definitely.
on. And I feel like a lot of student athletes today, they don't have that.
They don't.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't.
And they don't know how to reach out to people like you or like me because like they haven't been taught. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I
Right.
feel like it's very important for people like us, and we're already doing that, but just other
Mhm.
people in the community to really reach out and try
Right.
to help as much as possible because we're only as
Mhm.
good as the people around us.
Yeah.
So
And one of the things that I think that this generation has is the generation in front of them, which is you all, which is me, which is all of this younger generation, this young adult generation is
mhm.
always trying to do things to give back to these young kids. Now, do they utilize those resources? Definitely not. You know, and I always think, you know, I always tell guys that I come across, ask questions. Don't ever be afraid to ask questions because you don't know what you're going to get from the next person. You don't know what resources they may have to help you get through certain things. And so, you know, I definitely do think that the fact that, you know, guys like you, like myself, like, you know, all of those people that are always trying to pour into the next generation, they definitely have the resources of the young adult generation to help them get back where they're trying to go.
Facts, all facts, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
So,
man.
in high school, what position did you play?
I was actually on the wing. My best friend was a point guard. I was actually on the wing. I played the two. And so I ended up having to transition and run the point as I tried to matriculate through college. But like I
Yeah,
said, that winding road.
I feel it. So, what was your main like? What would you say your main role was on the floor and on the team in general?
Uh, Honestly, man, make shots. I just was in a position to make shots. I let the thing go.
Uh,
Um, I would say. Um, I never would tell anybody that I played too much defense. I kind of played token defense. I just kind of knew how to be in the gap and be in the right place if need be. But I definitely was just a catch and shoot guy.
mhm.
And I would get in there and try and create and make some kick out passes and things of that nature. But like I said, my PG, all my best friends, we were 1, 2, 3. So
Okay, I
um,
know that was fun.
yeah,
That was definitely.
I tell you, man, we had some good times, man.
That's good. That's good. Before we transition to the college talk, I got a game
Hmm.
that I play with everybody I interview, and it's called Random Rapid Fire. So I'm gonna ask you a series of questions, and you got to answer all of them within 3 seconds. If not, I'm gonna go to the next one. You
Okay,
ready?
go ahead. I'm
It's gonna
ready.
be it's gonna be from it's gonna be a list of things, and not gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? All right. Favorite book you read so far? Three,
Jump.
two. Hats,
Chief Harvey.
hats or fresh cuts? Three, two.
Hats. I love a hat,
Favorite
man.
gospel song? Three,
Um,
two,
I
one.
would say "Staying" by Donnie McClurkin.
Favorite state to vacation at? Three, two,
Georgia.
one. Go-to person in life? Three, two.
Mom.
Favorite NFL team? Three,
Oh, Washington football
two.
team all
Favorite
day.
NBA team?
Lakers all
Three.
day.
Favorite basketball coach all time? Three,
Oh,
two.
two. I got my favorite all time is probably John Thompson. My favorite today is actually Shaka.
Okay. Who's your basketball goat personally? Three,
Kobe.
two. Top three sport goats all time non-basketball? Three,
Oh.
two. That's a hard one. That's a hockey time.
That
That's a hard one.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
hard
yeah,
one.
yeah.
That's
That's a hard one.
hard.
That's a hard one. I couldn't even all time. I got to give it to Tom Brady, just because Muhammad Ali, just because the time that he was in, and just the impact that he had on that sport alone. We'll never forget Muhammad Ali. Tom Brady, of course, and then the third one I would probably say um, non-basketball. It has to be sports.
Hmm.
Sheesh. I couldn't even tell you that one. I'm gonna just say Mike Vick, just because
I
757
respect
got to.
that. I respect that. What's your favorite part of coaching?
Leadership, mentoring, X and O's. My dad taught me how to play chess at an early age, so just the strategy of the entire game, and it's. I just love the competitiveness, the grit, the grind, the fact that all of the aspects of the game of basketball translate to the way of life.
Hmm.
So I can go on about that.
I feel it. Fruits and vegetables.
Fruits,
Dancing and rapping.
rap all day.
If you could pick the president, who would it be?
Obama, got to bring him back.
I feel that. And give us one quick life lesson that you learned over the last year.
Tough times don't last. Tough people do.
That's a real. And I heard you say that a whole time.
That's the go-to, man. That's the
Nah,
go-to.
that's facts, and that's true
But
though.
I go with this one. I guess since I've used that so many times, adversity to prosperity. Life is always about how you respond.
Facts. Being an adversity killer. I like that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
So let's fast forward to college, man. What was
Hmm.
your experience like being in college? Not even the basketball part, just adjusting to freedom.
No, no.
Just social life, just being away from home. What was that like for you, non-basketball?
Mm, man, it was a journey, man. My whole college journey was different. Um, I guess I could just I'm very transparent about everything. So I would say, man, people don't know this, of course, but when I first went to college, my first semester, like it was a shell shock for me.
Mhm.
I had a .98 GPA my first semester, 0.98. And people always ask me, well, why'd you leave Virginia Wesleyan? Well, that's why my mom pulled me out real quick. And I went through the college of life, man. Like I worked at Wendy's, I worked at Busch Gardens, man, I had one job where I literally had to drive over to Virginia Beach and I worked in the woods just cutting trees in the state park, and I did all sorts of different things. And the college of life really taught me so much. But being away from home, so much freedom, had so much fun. I mean, even through Chowan, I mean, I grew up real fast.
Hmm.
And I could say the good thing about college is like you're able to grow up without having like the responsibilities of bills, when you're out on campus and those type of things. And so you're able just to learn how to take care of yourself.
Hmm.
And so college was a great time, man. It was a great time.
That's real. I feel like college really like college is the best 4 years of your life for
Yeah,
one.
I had eight.
And I feel like a lot of people they abuse it and they don't use it correctly.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely
yeah,
have fun, but man, there's so much more to just going out all the time. There's so much more to just playing your
yeah,
sport. There's a lot to see in college, and that's something that I want the younger generation to understand. You got
yeah.
4 years where you're not paying bills. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that much responsibility,
Hmm.
and you got to take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And the crazy thing is, man, like when I actually got myself together and did what I was supposed to do in college,
Hmm.
the crazy thing was I had to revert back to all the things that I learned in high school that teachers had told me from day one. And when I applied those things to college, I was actually successful. I was an avid when I was in high school. And so we had to carry around those big binders. And we had to take Cornell notes. We had to be like super organized. We had to do all these different things. We got graded on it like weekly. And so when I got to college, man, the first thing I knew was like, I don't got to carry around this binder. I can just carry around this 5-star notebook.
Hmm.
And, I learned real quickly, man. Class started at 8 o'clock. I get there 8 o'clock in 5 seconds, and I'm not gonna be able to get in there. And that's a zero for the day. And so I really, really had to grow up fast, man. That's why I say, man, you, it's all about maturity, and it's all about how you, like I said, how you respond to adversity, because you're gonna have some adverse situations. I know a lot of people can relate in a situation where you might not even know where your money gonna come from for the next school year, and you just out there trying to figure it out. Even just your next meal. You know what I'm saying? And so, I went through all those adverse situations through college, man, and it was definitely something that helped me grow quickly.
I got you. I got you. So before we keep going, I see some new viewers that I haven't seen before. I just want to explain what Lead Through Sport is so they can understand. So
Mm-hmm.
Lead Through Sport is my student athlete development initiative, and I created it to help enhance student athletes' sense of leadership so they can, be better off in life, and to help them use sport as a tool to navigate them through life. So I'm interviewing people like Coach Moore, who've played college basketball, played high school basketball. They know the ropes, and they're also successful post college. You know what I'm saying? And they know how to navigate. They know how to use their sport to, be successful. So that's what Lead Through Sports all about. And I just wanted to get that off. So if you're enjoying it, keep logging in. We on here every Thursday at 7. So keep locking in. We got a lot more to talk about tonight. So good stuff. So you talked about you had a point 0.9 GPA at Wesley, and
Yes,
that was your
sir.
first semester, right?
Man, that was my first semester. I got there, um, and it was different, man. I learned real quickly, like I said, what college was really about.
Uh-huh.
And the crazy thing was, we were on a road trip in Roanoke, um, and I came back from there, and my mom pulled me. She called me and said, "I'm coming to get you." It was that quick, man. It was like right before. It was like right before the withdrawal date.
Hmm.
And so, of course, we got the money back for that second semester. And so, I learned, like I said, I had to come home, and I ended up going to Thomas Nelson now.
That's real. So quick question though, if you don't
Hmm.
mind, going a little deeper, like what happened? Because I want to highlight, student athletes, they think some of them think it's all sweet and games. You play basketball and that's it, but they don't understand the stress that comes with maintaining the GPA so you can be able to play. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you
So if
go,
you could walk
man.
us through like just some tidbits of what threw you off? Like, was it the balance between academics and basketball? Just go a little more in
Everything,
depth.
man. I think it was the balance between academics, basketball, and partying. That's how we say.
That's real.
Just really just trying to figure out the time management piece.
Mm-hmm.
I learned real quickly. Coach Macedo didn't play. And so, you late, you done. And so, it wasn't like I was a stud on the team. I'm a freshman. They just came off the national championship run the year before, and the year after that, they actually went to the national championship game again and lost in the championship game. And so, they were on the high. It was like he didn't need nobody. And so ultimately, man, that I learned real quickly the balance of time management, the balance of how you respond, like I said, through adverse situations. And so that's what really took me down. And like I said, just not going to class, that thing, that's where I got a lot of my F's. And the only class I passed was funny was basketball. So, and so he was actually the teacher. And so I
Yeah,
learned real quickly. And then, like I said, when I went to Thomas Nelson, I had to make some adjustments.
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. So, what's one of the main differences between being a college student athlete and a high school student athlete? And
Maturity, sacrifice. I was just talking to the guys about this, and the difference between college and high school is the sacrifice. You got to sacrifice the parties. You got to sacrifice, those bad habits that you might have where, you might run in there late in the high school practice and coach might put you on the side, make you run a little bit, but you still going to be good to go. In college, like you late, nah, like go back home. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. It's cutthroat. And so that's one of the things that, like I said, guys learn real quick. There's only 1% that get that Division I scholarship. There's 1% that get the D2 scholarship, and there's 1.5% that get that Division III opportunity. 3.5% of the total high school basketball players get an opportunity to even play at that level. And so, in order for you to separate yourself, you got to sacrifice,
that's
and the
facts.
separation comes at that next level.
That's facts. That's facts. What was the most? What's one of your most memorable moments in college in the basketball department?
Man, probably just getting sent home. Honestly,
Facts. Uh-huh.
I mean, that honestly was like my wake up call. And that's why I say that. Um, Getting sent home, it was embarrassing. And it was a feeling that I never wanted again. Um, I think about that all the time. It's like, what could I have done better? What could I have done differently? Even in that in between stage, things that I could have adjusted to make my career that much better. But at the end of the day, it shaped me into who I am. It's giving me a platform and giving me purpose to talk to the young men that I talk to now.
Facts.
And so I think that's really the number one thing that I always remember, and I'll never forget it as I continue to coach these young men because I don't ever want them to go through the same stuff I went through.
That's real. That's respect. Respect. I have a question. We have a question in
Mm,
here, and I'm getting ready to pull up. Let's see if I can
okay.
bring it up. Gully Elias Sports said, "What is more important to teach when you coach basketball?" And you can take that
uh,
first.
Probably fundamentals. I would say, um, when I say fundamentals, I mean team fundamentals. I think right now at the college level, I realize that I'm cleaning up a lot of high school coaches' mistakes. It's a lot of coaches who, they say, well, yeah, I coach this, I coach like this, I coach like that. But I find that these guys come in with a lot of little mistakes and lack of discipline. I would say team fundamentals. I think every time guys, you see them with these trainers and they over dribbling, doing 25 different dribble moves just to get to a spot. But just understanding, spots and where you're supposed to be on the floor and just being able to be a visionary on the basketball court.
hmm I like that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. And to piggyback off of that, because I agree. Um, Character, teach character.
Mm,
Please teach
mm,
character, because if you don't teach character, that locker room, it ain't gonna be good for you. It's gonna be a lot of
right.
egos. It's gonna be a lot of selfishness going on, and that's gonna be one of the most hardest things to manage.
Man,
I've
one of
seen it, man.
the
I've seen really good teams. I've been a part of really good teams that couldn't win past 6 games
yeah,
because of the ego, because of character. So
yeah.
definitely teach character. And you
That's
have a
big.
job, so I'm pretty sure you have a good character. So make sure you teach character.
Yeah, yeah, that's big. And one of the things that Jason G used to say when we were at Longwood, character over talent. You
Facts.
know, character over talent. Talent's gonna make you win a couple games, but high character kids are gonna help you win championships because they're gonna lock in and do everything that you want them to do.
That's
That's big. That's
real
big.
big. Absolutely. So let's fast forward to your career. Give me a list of jobs that you've worked since you graduated college.
Since graduating. Oh,
Yeah. And you don't got to go on. You can just give them to me briefly.
okay. I taught elementary school PE. I coached JV basketball. Um, I substituted. I worked as a residential director at Virginia University, also the College of African American Men. I coached at John Marshall High School. I coached Team Loaded AAU. I coached at Massanutten Military Academy. I was also student activities director as a post grad assistant and a head varsity coach. I coached at Mount St. Mary's University. I coached at Longwood University as director of basketball operations. I've coached at Thomas Nelson Community College, which I am at now as the head men's basketball coach. And I've also been the graduation coach in Newport News Public Schools at Heritage High School. And that's it since graduating college. That's about it,
Yeah,
I
you
would say.
sound like you can get any job you want with that
Any
resume.
job, man. When I see my resume, I'm always trying to chop it down to try to find spots like to put certain things and move some things out the way and take out all this description. Man, I've been all over the place. So just
That's
continues
real.
to build a resume, build a resume, and like I said, and train. You know, I started the More Than the Game LLC. I see my guy Tim Hewitt down there. He's definitely been in the gym with me, and so been able to train some of the best in the country, some of the best in the state and continue to pour into young men. So I throw that in there as well.
That's good stuff. So talk a little more about your what you do now at Heritage High School.
I'm a graduation coach, so I work with at-risk youth. I work with all students from students with special with disabilities. I work with at-risk students who come from at-risk situations in the environment, home environment, whether it's all sorts of variations and variables that come with that. I work with students that are retained, meaning that they are not in the grade that they're supposed to be in, and try to help them get to their graduation goal.
Mm-hmm.
I work with students that are dropouts. I work with students that are incarcerated. I work with all sorts of students and helping place them in the right situation as far as what fits them academically. And so I love it. It gives me flexibility to kind of work with all sorts of different students and, help pour into them. It's a graduation coach. So the word coach being it lets you know that I get the opportunity to really just mentor and help position students in the right place that'll position them for the future.
Mm-hmm. And what's the hardest part about that job? Because I'm pretty sure it gets tough at times.
The hardest part of it is probably getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
So
Oh, so
I
that's
get up in
easy
the
then.
yeah, I
It's
get
easy
up.
for you then.
I no, it's not an easy job, man. I think I just love what I do, and
Mm-hmm.
so when you love what you do, man, it makes every day just just a memorable one, man. Nothing's ever the same. You're constantly able to pour in the young ones. I know my young guy Sterling was in here. My mini me. He's actually the school president at Heritage High School. And so just being able to work with young men like him, there he goes right there, Sterling Bailey Jr. He's gonna be famous one day, I promise you. But just being able to pour in a young man like him and so many others, man, I love doing that every day. And when I say getting up in the morning, I get up at 4 a.m. every morning anyway. But I think just trying to figure out what I'm gonna wear that day is probably the hardest part of the day.
That's
So
real. That's real.
that's really it, man.
Shoot, people are killed that had that kind of problem. For real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, look, I'm a Catholic, so I got to figure that thing out. And
We
sometimes I
gotta
feel
stay
like
we
being
gotta
a
stay
Catholic,
clean. You gotta
you
stay
got to stay
clean.
clean, man. Got to
One thing
always be
about it.
prepared.
I seen that video of you going crazy in the middle of the gym. Was it 2 years ago at the pep
Oh
rally?
man, yeah,
I
man.
was
They
having a
pulled me out of
great day.
retirement. I tell everybody, man, I'm retired now. I don't shimmy too much no more. But when I do, man, I got to put on the show.
Got to. I feel it. So tell me this: all of the lessons that you learned on the high school level in the basketball program, the lessons that you learned on the college level in the college program, how
Mhm.
does that help you do what you do with the at-risk youth at Heritage?
Um, I would tell you the biggest thing is I learned how to. I always tell people, man, basketball is. My dad used to always say this. I'm gonna give you this one. Average players see the basketball game one play ahead. Good players see basketball plays two plays ahead. Great players see three plays ahead. And when I say that, I always ask kids, like, what do you think I mean by that? Do you think I literally mean by up and down three times up and down is one or two trips? But it's really just being able to see. I always refer to LeBron because you see LeBron and he gets the ball and he's able to direct and see a lot of things going on before he normally sees five passes ahead.
Mhm.
He may make one pass and then he may make a cut that's going to lead to a guy lifting, that may lead to a ball screen, that may lead to some different things, that may lead to a backdoor cut and the guy be wide open for a bucket. And he's a visionary. And so being a basketball player, you have to be a visionary. And so that helps me in my job because I'm able to be a visionary for young people's lives. How can I see your life unfolding? How can I help you plan out your next step so that we can see where your end goal may be? If you go this route, if you go this route, or if you go this route, let's go ahead and plan this thing out. And so I think just from that standpoint, from being a motivator, and being able to lead, being able to let guys know, like I said, basketball is about adversity and prosperity. How
Mhm.
you respond, and so I always tell young people, life is about how you respond and how you gonna respond in this situation. You might be a 10th grader and you're supposed to be a senior this year, but how can we make an adjustment right here so we can still try and see if we can get you across that stage? It might not be in June, but it might be in August.
That's
So.
real. That's real. I like that. I like that a lot. So, at what point did you realize that that sports principles is a direct correlation to life? When did you realize that? Was it in high school? Was it in
Mhm.
college? Was it when you were sent home? Like, when did you realize that?
Uh, I would probably say in my in between stage before I went to Chowan,
Mhm.
um, that was probably where I really realized, like, okay, you know, I can apply these same methods that are, happen in basketball to my life right now. I think just being able to bounce back, and even just your body language. I was going through a lot of things at the time, and I was talking to one of my guys today about his body language. And body language is everything. You might be going through a tough time, but you can't never let everybody else know that. You got to
Facts.
continue to keep your head up. You got to continue to push forward. And so in that in between time, because people don't know. I know I talked about how I had a 0.98 GPA, but I still graduated with 3.2. So let me go ahead and put that out there before
Yeah,
anybody
definitely do
thinks
that.
that I graduated with a 1.5 or something like
Hey,
that.
them people that left already, too bad you couldn't tell them because they probably,
Hey
man,
man,
Chris
look, they
wilding.
they just they just gonna have to go back and rewatch this whole thing. And I always tell people, check my transcripts. It's all out there on paper. And so yeah, I graduated 3.2, and so just how I responded to all of that adversity, prosperity, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Mm, mm. Man, I hope I'm back on a Division 1 stage somewhere.
Mhm.
I think for my coaching journey, I always just let God just kind of let it all unfold. I'm very strategic on how I pray about things. I'm very strategic about what I decide to do, and I always pray about it.
Mhm.
So 5 years from now, I just hope that I'm continuously living in a purposeful life, continue to be blessed, and continuously blessing others along the way.
That's real. And you've had a pretty interesting coaching journey up to this point, and you're real young
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I'm
So
still
what?
young, man.
Yeah, what keeps you going? Because I know sometimes going from college to college, state to state, situation to situation, it can get tough, and some people they
Yeah.
don't. It's not a bad thing, but some people just don't want to deal with that, and they pursue other things. So what keeps you going?
Um, Honestly, man, my love for the game is one. I can't never knock that. I love the game. My love for working with young people through the game of basketball, which I love. But also, my dad, I would say now at this point, even I lost my best friend when I was 21 years old. Before I went, when I just got to Shawan, and he was kind of my engine to help me get through to that graduation. And so now my engine now is my dad. One of the things that he actually his biggest goal was to be a college basketball coach. And so for him to actually be able to see me on that stage and, be at all those games and him just traveling he would get off work and travel up to Maryland and come to the games and he'd be right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so just his dedication to the game. And like I said, I've always told him, Dad, I know you wanted to be a head college coach one day, so I'm gonna make it for you.
That's
And
real.
so I know I'm there now, but I still have so much to do, man. And I also I got a daughter now,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got to provide. And so at the end of the day, if this gonna be my way of living, I got to be able to provide for myself and for my family. So
Absolutely.
that's my engine.
I love that. I love that. Last thing, if you can give advice to somebody who's, going through what you went through in high school, college, and they're aspiring to be a Division I coach, or they're aspiring to be, a graduation coach or something of that aspect, what would you tell them?
Um, network, network. My resources have been. I've net all of the jobs that I've gotten in life. I would tell you I got because of a network that I had with somebody else, or a resource that I utilized. Before I even jumped into the college ranks, um, I ain't even talk about my time at Chowan. I was actually a student assistant coach at Chowan, and so I utilized my experiences, and I started early.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, of course, being a good resource, but I never wanted to use him to get a job. I
Mm-hmm.
always told him like, Dad, I'm going to do it myself. And through that fire, I just talked to coaches. I always ask questions, and I always put it out there. Anybody I talk to, I tell them, look, this is what I want to do. What advice do you have for me? From talking, I went back talked to Coach Macedo. Coach Macedo, this is what I want to do. What advice do you have? And listen, because those guys are telling you from experience. And I always say, just continue to network, build your brand. Your social media account is your brand. Your LinkedIn is your brand. Your Facebook is your brand. Utilize that. I make sure that even on my Instagram, I'm following a lot of coaches. I follow a lot of educators on my Twitter. And I talk to them in DMs. Hey, how you doing? Can we chop it up? I'm always looking for advice because I'm looking to grow. Like you said, I am still young and I got a pretty decorated resume, but I'm always looking to grow that resume and continue to build on what I have now, so that I can continue to move forward and help pull somebody else up. I'm always looking to help the next generation, and see how I can pour back into them, or even people that are older than me in the older generation that I can help as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
network.
Love that. Growth is key. Growth is
Growth is
definitely key.
key.
You can't
Growth is
stay in the
key.
same spot. The seed,
You can't, man.
if the seed remains the seed,
Yeah,
you won't be able to see no development. You know what I'm saying? So growth is
that's
key.
right. That's factual.
Absolutely. So, Coach, man, I definitely appreciate you. I know you have a website, don't you?
There you go, man. Anybody can find my resume, my portfolio, morethanthegame.net.
I'm about to
MOO.
I'm about to pin it so they can see it. Hold on,
Oh, go
more.
ahead, man. www.morethanthegame.net. If you're up here, I guess you got my handle, Coach Chris Moore, on Instagram and Twitter. Email, all of that is on my website as well. My phone number. Always feel free to reach out to me if you ever need anything. And like I said, continue following the journey. And like I said, I'm always thankful for the support.
Absolutely.
Talk to you.
Did I do that right? More than the game. That's right, right?
That's it.
Good, good. Yeah, I'll go check out his website, man. It's very decorated, looks really good. Got some good things, and you have an LLC as well too, right? More than the
I
game.
do. I do. More than the game LLC. I normally use that for whatever I do, whether it's public speaking or, if I'm out doing some training events or anything of that sort, running the camp. And normally it goes under my More Than the Game LLC. And just continuously just setting out there, different branches and olive trees where I can always bring in some income and always be able to make myself available to so many other people.
Absolutely, love that, love that.
Appreciate you,
Well,
Coach.
yep, yep. Well, y'all heard my guy. Get with him. Go follow him. Check out his website. All that. For
There you
those of y'all
go.
who aren't following me, go ahead follow me at @tscotty_, and definitely check out my business page. It's act like I forget. It's @_ rise to the occasion. Check it out. We got some life development content. I got life development content on my main page, so we're just trying to keep all of y'all up on life and help you rise to your highest level of living. Appreciate you,
There
Coach.
you go, man. No problem, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's a great platform. And, continue doing what you're doing, man. People don't know that you got a great coaching resume as well, man. So continue doing
Appreciate
what
that.
you're doing, man. And I'm really proud to see you doing this. And Coach Scott, man, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot you the yo. I know you see me. So look,
Definitely.
we gonna bring you on too at some point.
Absolutely, absolutely. And and for those who don't know, Coach Moore has definitely been key to some of the things that I've been able to accomplish in my
Yeah,
life. Coaching with Team Loaded, just
yeah.
networking, man. That, like you said, networking to get you a long way. Grateful that I met Coach Moore, and we're gonna do a lot of good things in the future, for real.
We are, man. Definitely, man. We'll stay connected.
Absolutely.
All right.
I holla. Salute y'all.